Welcome to ChewieBit, and today's ChewieBit for you is a discussion about Bitcoin and what may happen with the crypto market going into October. So this is a critical point. Subscribe, hit the bell icon, and leave a comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are entering October, and let's jump right into it. Critical point for Bitcoin. If we just take a look at Bitcoin, I just want to kind of give a shout out to Benjamin Cowen. Really solid data, really good analysis. The story here is, if we hold the 20 and the 50-week SMA, that is going to be fine. The whole idea, now if we can take a look at the chart here, is it's a dangerous point because they're about to converge. If they cross, it's not good news. So we're looking at a week. This is a week view of Bitcoin. We have the 20, we have the 50 simple moving average. Just to take a look at what may actually happen there if it crosses. We don't have enough data here, but this is the 2017 all-time high when Bitcoin went all the way up to like 19,000. Here we have the 20 and 50, and then you can see what happened after the 50 kind of goes above, right? So if the 50 goes above, it's nothing good. We're gonna go from like 36. This was in July 18, from this general area all the way down to like 3,000. That's what the data shows us. So unfortunately, if it crosses, this is what we may see. Again, another instance of where it actually crossed. So if you take a look at this point, where these two converged, we had a relative high, local high at 10,000 in February 20. When these moving averages converged, we go from there all the way to 3,800 or so. So that's massive. 10,600, 11,000, all the way down to 3,500, 3,800, 700, more or less. This is big. So again, this is at the point where kind of last year where things kind of started taking off again. When these converged again, when these crossed, this is where we had this massive bull run here. So right here, the cross here, the convergence may not actually happen. Hopefully it doesn't. If it does, this is a really, really interesting and kind of a scary point for Bitcoin, because the Bitcoin is the index. It's the entire, kind of entire market. Everything, unfortunately, really just follows Bitcoin. So whatever Bitcoin does, more or less, this is what every other crypto will do. Another thing that I wanted to show you is if you take a look at the depth. This is just what I kind of wanted to show you here. So just take a look at the order book for Bitcoin. So Kraken, there's a kind of a pool, right? Down to 40,800, not so bad. The next kind of big pool, 38,700. If you look at Coinbase, it just looks terrible, right? Look at these numbers: 200 Bitcoin, 200, 200, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 200, almost 300, 200, and then this is at about 37,500. So this would, if the market gets pulled down, if Bitcoin gets pulled down, this more or less may result in the lines converging. So this is literally right here, 38. Again, also looking at Binance, take a look at this. 308 at 39, 200, and then 448 at 37.8. More or less same number here. Not same number, but huge weight for Bitcoin. So will we see this area, 37.8? Who knows? So here's the interesting thing. The rich dad, poor dad dude, he's warning everyone, a huge crash coming in October. But if we take a look at the 2008 crash, so when did it actually happen? October 10, from 6 to 10. Look at this, 2008. So exactly around the same time, kind of a month that we'll be actually entering. On September 29th, so here we go, 2008. What are we at? We're in September 30th. So September 29th, so we're entering September 30th, will be a Thursday. Around the same time, the DJIA had a record-breaking drop of 777. So there you go. The S&P 500 fell more than 20%. So this was around October 6th and 10th, 2008. And so we're entering literally October right now. So this is kind of a scary point. But what happened? Now we have to ask ourselves, crypto wasn't even around yet, right? So if you just look at the history of Bitcoin. So what happened with Bitcoin? On August 18, the domain name bitcoin.org was registered. Later that year on 31st October. So this is right after the stock market crash. So there you go. Bitcoin surfaced right after the crash. So we have to ask ourselves, if the stock market will crash, in the coming month, in October, what does that mean for Bitcoin? We don't really know yet because it hasn't been around long enough for us to actually know how it will react to the market. Unfortunately, the crypto market more or less has also been kind of following the stock market, so it's kind of sensitive to the stock market as well. So whatever kind of happens to the stock market, more or less, we've seen it, kind of track similarly. So that's kind of a scary thing. But in my opinion, we really don't have anything kind of to worry about. I mean, if you just take a look at this here, this Origins of Bitcoin Brief History, if you just read this article, Origins of Bitcoin, a Brief History from 2008 Crisis to Present Times. So what happened during the financial crisis of 2008? So the core idea behind Bitcoin, right? And it originated right after the 2008 stock market crash. So the core idea is after the financial crisis, people were demanding a currency that would not be controlled by a central authority. So that's kind of the whole idea, right? And so at the moment, more or less, it's with talk about regulations, with corporations and kind of big institutions and big players coming into the sphere. This is all changing. So the whole idea of central authority, if regulations come in, that'll defeat kind of the whole point, right? So that's essentially what I wanted to talk about. Even if we have a crash in October, stock market crash, financial crisis, even if the government goes on shutdown, it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad news for Bitcoin. So we will have to see what actually happens in October, but as long as Bitcoin actually holds the line, and literally if we don't go into this region of 37, it's probably going to be fine. And even if we break the line, even if we don't hold the line and it goes below 30 to 37, 38 to 37, that's also not the end of the world. Things may just kind of reverse in October, November, December, and we may see a really, really healthy recovery. So that is it for me. That was a little bit long. Hopefully that's not going to be too long, but just wanted to share my ideas kind of going into October with a lot of uncertainty, with a lot of, just a lot of positive news, a lot of negative news.
A lot of negative news, a lot of positive news.
And so we just have to see what happens in October, but hang in there, everything's going to be fine.